Hi, I'm Devin from Careerified. Welcome back to the living room. This week, I would like to talk about kid generalists, which, by the way, is a phrase I coined about 10 minutes before I hit record on this video. Um, what I'm talking about with a kid generalist is you may have a kid who generally gets pretty decent grades in everything. They may have interests in a few different areas, but really nothing's kind of sparked a calling. And I've gotten this a lot, not just from parents who, came into the college or parents I was in seminars with or whatever. I hear this a lot from like family and friends too, where they say, my kid kind of has like a lot of interests. I don't really know what to tell them in terms of a career. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that. Why this feels so challenging is I think your kids, and you're probably standing at the precipice from them, basically looking at a big open space, right? Imagine that you're looking at a wheat field in the middle of the prairies. Imagine that you're looking at literally a blank canvas and you're trying to figure out what shapes might make the most sense in order to create meaning there. So what we can do as parents is start to put down little boundaries, little parameter markers, little things that can help them start to form a picture that makes more sense for them. And there are a few really simple ways you can do this. So one, if they are not already, strongly encourage, maybe even require your kids to do some kind of volunteering, have a regular volunteer gig, and or get a part-time job. These can be really, really helpful ways to introduce them to the world of work. How does it function? How does it work? What are they going to come up against? What are going to be the things that maybe they don't love so much and things that they excel at that they didn't realize they could excel at? Basically, you're expanding their world. If you're in a smaller community or a rural community, I recognize this can be really, really challenging. So getting them to work might be doing stuff like offering services to the community. So it may be creating flyers and going around and handing them out to people, offering babysitting services or cleaning services or yard work services or shoveling service, whatever it is that they can do, something that gives back to the community. There's a really inherent wonderfulness, I think, that comes from that of, hey, I did this for that person and I've made their life better. So it's serving that, but it also might generate something in your kid that says, hey, I have the ability to improve other people's experiences. That's pretty cool. If they're still at a position where it's an option, have them look into co-op at school. Co-op is, if you've never heard of it, it's a course that they take that's usually double credit, and they'll spend either a morning or an afternoon in one of their semesters out at work somewhere. So there'll be a teacher at your kid's school who's responsible for the co-op program. They'll help your kids secure a placement. They may have to go through an actual job interview process, an actual job search process, which is extremely valuable if they've never done that before. And then the teacher and the employer will kind of co-monitor their experience in the workplace. Kids can take this generally in grade 11 or 12. So if your kid is about to go into their last semester in grade 12, probably not an option, but anything else, it's something to look at. And it really depends on where they are with getting all their core stuff in and getting all the prerequisites that they want to have in order to get into whatever programs they're looking at next. Another really simple way to do a little bit of this is go visit our friend Google. So if your kids really don't have any strong affinity for any particular subject, or maybe they've got 3 or 4 that they're pretty good at, you can start with the 3 or 4. But I would say if it's really wide open, start with their current semester or their current course schedule and pull out the course outline. They should have something, some kind of documentation that says, this is what you'll know how to do by the end of this class, and try to do some searching around that, right? If it's going to teach them to be critical of current issues, Google, what jobs require me to be critical of current issues? Or what jobs require critical thinking skills? And it might just pop out a few job titles that spark a little bit of interest. This should at least kickstart the search process. I'm not saying you're going to find all the answers doing this, but it's an exercise I like to do with people, where it just starts to generate some ideas. Because if no ideas, you need to start somewhere. Even try just like the subjects that they're studying, right? If they're taking history, if they're taking geography, if they're taking English, what skills do I learn, and or what jobs require this particular area? The last thing I will recommend, and I'm going to totally plug myself here, is this is one time I would say you probably want to connect with a career professional, someone like me. The reason I suggest it, a career professional like me has access to tools and techniques that can help your kids figure out where their strengths are, what personality traits they have that might be a great match to different types of jobs or different types of fields. We can help them uncover what motivates them or what values they have that they should be looking for in the workplace. We are specifically trained for that kind of stuff. So this is one time when you definitely want to look into it. It's absolutely worth the investment, because it can really help clear a lot of those cobwebs that you and your kids may be feeling right now. So try poking around Google, see what you find. Definitely get some workplace experience if you can, and consider hiring a career professional. Those are my tips for helping out your kid generalist. Thanks for listening, and join me next week in the living room for a new tip. Have a good one.